crisis rocks ADC as members sue to nullify David Mark's interim leadership appointment. Barrister, this political party, this alliance have not even taken off yet. They've started encountering legal issues. This is a serious thing, and probably still will continue to play out for a very long time. It will become even a serious matter. What's your take on that? Let me read one or two paragraphs here. Three members of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, have dragged the party's leadership to the Federal High Court in Abuja, seeking to nullify the appointment of Senator David Mark and other key figures as interim national officers. The plaintiffs, Adeyemi Emmanuel Ayodeji Victor, Tolu, and Haruna Ismaila are challenging what they describe as an unconstitutional leadership arrangement. According to them, the handover of power to a newly constituted interim team contravenes the party's constitution and disrespects an existing court judgment. Barrister, and the news goes on and on and on and on. It's quite long stuff. Barrister, what's your take on this issue of where do you see this going? Do you still see ADC as a viable platform for the conglomerate of opposition parties to actually vent their aspirations?
First of all, from the legal perspective, I hope the Supreme Court will say what they have been saying, that the issues of party leadership are internal affairs of the parties for which the court should not dabble into.
Yeah,
but today in Nigeria, one cannot be so certain of the certainty of the law as it used to be. But let us hope for once the Supreme Court will follow its own precedent and say that the affairs of the leadership of the AGC are internal affairs of the party for which the court has no jurisdiction to deal with. Now, coming to the viability of the AGC, we have discussed this on your show in the past, and I told you that for now, if I were President Tinubu, I would not lose any sleep. Even now, the seas of discourse are becoming very clear. Look at the interview that Peter Obi gave. He said he's still in Labour Party and that he's going to contest for the presidential election 2027. That is to show you that the ADC as a coalition have a long way to go. The major protagonist of the ADC, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Rotimi Amechi, those are the three people actively pursuing the presidential ticket of that party. If Peter Obi maintains that he will be a candidate in 2027 and he's still in Labour Party, that shows you that if he does not get the presidential ticket of ADC, he will not be in that party anymore. He will not go along with the coalition. I don't know how far Atiku will accept not to be the presidential candidate of ADC if either Peter Obi or Amechi emerges. Even if he accepts it, if he does not commit to spending his resources, his capital, and his contacts to the alliance, it would amount to him not accepting it. Because if he does not get the ticket and he does not robustly put his machinery, his resources at the behest of the person who got the ticket, that is as good as saying that he is not interested in the party. What Amechi will do, nobody can say. What the likes of El-Rufai will do when things do not go their way, nobody can say. That is why I said a coalition has never worked in Nigeria except in 2015. And the reasons were apparent. There was no dispute. There was only one candidate. Everybody came into that coalition to line up behind one. There was no dispute of who would be the presidential candidate. And so the kind of discord that would have emanated from being disappointed for not being picked was not there. For not being picked was not there. But this ADC, we are here, we will see how things will play out. If any of these major protagonists is disappointed by not getting the ticket, and how that will also play out in the geopolitics of Nigeria. If Atiku wins, will the South accept him? Because by convention, it is still the turn of the South to do their 8 years. If Peter Obi wins, will they not accept him? That is another, I mean, within the coalition, will the other people there, strong men there, accept and line up behind him and commit to pushing the northern voters to support him? So those are the issues. It's still a work in progress.
All right.
But a lot of roadblocks ahead.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Barrister. Honestly, I agree with you, but let me add this. You see, this alliance has, like I said earlier, people with all the parties have common selfish interests, not common national interests. If we have, because these are two different things. If they had common national interests, then the alliance will work and it will be viable and potent. However, what they have is common personal interest. Common personal interest in the sense that it is the interest, because when everybody wants to achieve the same goal, it becomes conflicting. And that is where the clash of the titans will happen. That is where you will have the controversy. Because I try, as you were speaking, I tried to imagine Atiku losing to Peter Obi. What would be the scenario? And I tried to imagine Peter Obi losing to Atiku. What would be the scenario? I tried to imagine these two people losing to Amechi or vice versa. What would be the scenario? And the scenario was what actually played out in my head, in my imagination, is none of these scenarios will work. That will cause anyone, if Peter Obi wins now, that party, they will not unite in his favor, unite to actually fight the same cause. If Atiku wins, obviously, because the truth is, this is just that there is no win-win in this whole. I don't know why they didn't. I expected them to actually sit down, plan this thing out before they even agree to come together. Unlike during, like during that of Buhari time, when APC was giving birth to, I expected them to just have at least majority of the power brokers to actually agree on who to get this nomination, a consensus before going into it. Because the truth is, they have common interest, national interest, but they don't have their purpose, their process. Their purposes are diverse. Now, the truth is, as far as I'm concerned, there is no ADC without Peter Obi. I don't know if you agree with me on that. Peter Obi is the oxygen of ADC. I am telling you, because Atiku is a spent politician. El-Rufai is an anathema. It's an abomination to the polity. People don't want to hear about El-Rufai, except the religious bigots in the north. Few religious bigots. Amechi, he has his own baggage, mixed baggages, actually. Peter Obi is the only person that really stands out among these devils. That is just it. So as far as I'm concerned, he is a light in the darkness of ADC. So if you pull Peter Obi out of ADC, ADC is just literally gone. So if they know what is good for them, let them support Peter Obi. That is the only way that they can. You said it quite eloquently that ADC is not, does not, that Tinubu shouldn't lose sleep over and will not lose sleep over ADC, which I agree with you, because the reason is already playing out, and the reason, and it will even get worse. That is just the reality. And I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't imagine a scenario where Peter Obi will be a running mate to anybody. Like we said earlier, that would be the obituary, the rest in peace of his political career. That is just the end. That would be the end. So I don't know. ADC is just something that I don't see it. I don't see it being potent. I don't see it really working out. It will cause even further confusion. And at the end of the day, Bola Tinubu will just it will be a rollover for him. And I think that is just it. You want to say something?
Yes. If Peter Obi was not in that coalition, the ADC, you can properly describe them as association of desperate criminals. But for the fact that he is there, you cannot make that description. The ADC should properly stand for Association of Desperate Criminals. But when Peter Obi is there, you can't give them that appellation.
Yeah, that is it. Peter Obi is their only ticket to potency. That's just it. It's sort of, and he is the only one actually that the APC people, especially Bola Tinubu, he's the only one they are scared of. That's why he has unleashed his attack dogs in Omokri. I'm surprised what's happening. I know they hear this man's voice again. This aviation minister, Keyamo. Eh?
Kemo, he has been talking, but I think he has tried to focus more on his ministry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's just by the way. All right. Honestly, I think that is just it. I hope wisdom will prevail here, and objectivity especially will prevail in ADC.